Turn the mic on. There, it's on now. Hey, how is everyone doing? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday night portrait class. We try to get together every Wednesday night for about, I don't know, we go about 30 to 40 minutes, and I take you through drawing a portrait step by step, and hopefully over time you will get the hang of this. And that's really that's the main thing, is to get as many of these things under your belt, right? Well, we've got a great crew of people here ready to go. Christina, Tony, Cindy, Martha, and Annette. So let's get right into it here. Now, of course, tonight I'm going to be using my favorite drawing utensil. Boy, I keep trying to use new things, thinking I should upgrade my upgrade my drawing utensils. I recently purchased these Sharpie, these China markers. They're okay, and then I just found all kinds of stuff, and I'll try it thinking it's gonna be better than my Crayola, but man, I'll tell you, I just keep coming back to these Crayola pencils no matter how I try to get away from them. Oh, Annette, you're in England. How wonderful. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, one of these days, Annette, I'm going to try and make it out there. So I might end up on your doorstep. We'll see about that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here, okay? I'm going to hold my pencil here, and I'm going to go ahead and start with a sphere to get going here. So let's see. Let me come over here. I'm looking. Oh, I know. There are lots of people in the UK. If I went over there, it would be a hoot, and I think so. So lots of friends over there through this group, of course. I don't know anyone else outside of this group, but we've had a lot of people over there. So okay, so I've just kind of drawn a quick, turn this light on here a little bit brighter, quick little sphere here. All right, and I'm going to turn this around, get that maybe like that. How about that? Okay. And then I'm going to come down halfway her head here and kind of get this brow line in place. And right here at this brow line, I'm going to actually do one more thing for you here. I'm going to make this picture just a little bit bigger. How about that? Okay, so this is the corner of her brow line, right on the edge there. And then if I come across here, now I have to kind of make a judgment between this brow line and the back of her head, and it's not halfway. It's probably just a little bit further up like this, right about there, I think. And that's her temple. So we start always trying to get the brow line and figure out where the temples are. Then next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the center line. Now, usually if it's a 3/4 view, that center line is going to be between this temple and this temple, but it's not directly center. It's going to be off just a little bit. So I'm going to move it over here just a bit. So we'll just bring this down. I'm not really sure how far down quite yet, but we'll get going there. We'll start there. And I'm going to actually kind of move this over just a bit more. And so that looks pretty good. All right. I'm going to come all the way down here now and kind of guesstimate. I'm going to probably put our nose right here. And, I'm just going to kind of give a little smudge there, so I get an idea of the underside of her nose. And a lot of times from the brow line to the bottom of the nose, you take this distance, and this will give you the bottom of her chin. So we might have to adjust that, but we'll put that in right there, just like that. Okay, right here is her right here is her temple, and a lot of times on the side of a person's head it's very flat, so we can kind of do this sort of thing here. Okay, that shows me it's like the flat side of her head. Okay, I've been drawing like this. I'm gonna change the way I hold my pencil because I'm gonna get in a little more, I'm gonna make little tighter circles here. And I'm kind of looking at the negative space in this area here because I want to match the negative space of her right side there. So I'm just gonna kind of come in here. Here's the glabella. It's gonna come down her nose. I'm gonna keep it light. I'm really concentrating on this area here, and where the tip of the nose comes in contact with their cheek, you see? And you want to keep this light, especially for a girl, because you really want to darken down here. If you get too dark in here, it starts to look a little more masculine, and so we want to try and avoid that. So I'm going to come in here. There's the tip of her nose, and look how I'm not doing any features yet. I'm just kind of making a parallelogram, just like this. All right, this is like looking for a wedge in her face right there. So if I'm looking closely at the tip of her nose, it comes in and goes right into her septum. So I'm just gonna curve this around, and then of course the septum is made up with, on either side of the nostrils, it comes right down to the top of your lip there. So it's small on her, so we'll come down just like that, just a bit. Of course, now I'm gonna make my V, the V of her lips. The V is the little place right in between her, that big lip right there. Okay, I'm going back. I'm going back to holding my pencil like this. Except I'm kind of guesstimating, and I want to draw lightly. So here's the one corner, and the other corner is going to be right on the edge there. You see that? So okay. And then we're gonna straight across just like that. That'll be the bottom of her lip. And I already think that this distance, if I look at the picture, this might be too close, but we'll see how that works out. Okay, so here in the lips, this is interesting. Let me draw something closer for you here. So when you're drawing your lips, there's my 3/4 view, all right? And there's that right there, you see? But if you look at the picture, a lot of times this bottom lip will come just a little bit short, and then you get this top lip to kind of wrap around, you see? You have to really be careful of that. You have to look for that if that's happening. All right, so it's slightly happening here. Not as severe as I just showed it to you. But okay. Of course, her top lip is darker value, so I'm just going to put in, I'm not going to go completely dark yet, but I am going to drop in that darker value in that upper lip there. Okay, look at that. Look at where her cheekbone is. Her cheekbone's like right above her. This is the tip of her nose. Cheekbone is right above it, And it has a very, almost a straight angle. You see that? Comes right into her chin here. Then her jaw's going to come up here, right about here. Look for the corner. Look for the corner of her jaw. It's going to be right below her. Let's see now. If we're here, it's going to be there, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with it. Okay. Then it turns the corner and goes right up into their ear here. And where is the bottom of, what does the bottom of her ear lines up with what? If I go right across, oh, it's lining up with the nose, okay? If we lightly continue, this is like the side of her face, but we want to add that ear right there. So we'll, and what I'm doing right now is I think I've pushed this way too far back. So I'm just kind of checking I'm checking the distance from the corner of her mouth to the corner of her jaw, and I think I need to come up just a bit. So I'm just going to draw right on top of my drawing. That's where I'm going to put my ear. I like that much better. This is why I like to draw lightly, so I can draw right on top of my drawing, and it will get hidden. It really will. It will get hidden underneath the picture as we continue. Okay, brow line. All right, let's get our eye line in. So our eye line is going to be right about here. Okay, let's look at her eye over here. Where is that tear duct? A vertical, where does that tear duct line up vertically? It's almost like, in her case, now typically the tear duct lines up with the outside part of the nose, the wing. But if I look at the picture closely, it really lines up right about here. So let's put that tear duct in just like that. And then the tear duct, the eye here, we get our tear duct in. Then we have to look at where the other corner of her eye is. And in her case, it's a little bit higher than the tear duct. You see that? How it kind of lifts up? So let's come in here. Okay. And if you're looking for extra help, and if you want to really make a big difference in your skills, I have a class called the Daily Draw. Let me see if I can bring up the image of the Daily Draw. Let's see. I'm just going to show this to you really quick right here. Let's turn this off. And will that show up, I wonder? Let's see. Nope. And nope. Okay. The Daily Draw is my ongoing class. We meet 5 days a week. And if you are not part of it, wow, you are missing a great opportunity. I'll put information for that in the comments. So if you really want to see your skills get rolling, that is the place. That is the way to do it. So it's the Daily Draw. All right. Look, I'm putting my upper eyelids here, and very lightly putting on the bottom one as well. Very lightly, because what you want to do here first is make sure you get your pupils all lined up. Because if they don't line up, boy. You are going to be lost. It took me a long time to get pupils all lined up. Look at this. This is the back end of that eyeball. You see that? Right in there. All right, let's go ahead and add a little bit of value to these pupils before we go really dark on them. All right, I think that's going to work. Okay, look at those. Look at the eyelids up on top there. You see that? So let's, and if this is the edge of her eyeball, where is that? Okay, that's out much further there. And when I build the eyes, I'm thinking of building. This is being built on a round surface. Another thing with eyes, when you are drawing, especially women, and they have that thick or mascara, you would really just, I just like to really thicken in that the upper eyelash there, and then just curve it. I like to draw this as one mass, one unit, instead of thinking of this as many little hairs. It's just one complete unit there. All right. Let's get this other. All right. Other thing on the bottom of the eyes, you could, like, a lot of times they'll hang. They'll hang from the top, so you want to make sure that you flatten the bottom of them ever so slightly, because on the bottom part of the eye, you've got to leave this little bit of, look at that little bit of white. You see that? That's that little reflection really sells the eye. Okay. All right, coming along here. I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit darker on my on my pupils there. And definitely let's get this, let's get these eyebrows in place. Now, one thing, my eye looks kind of flat, but I think when we add some of the shadow in here, it's going to look like it's going back in space. But first, let's look. This is the edge of my eye. Let's come up here and really check that distance there. Okay. All right, how about this side here? Now, her nose is definitely, look at the negative space here. And then that's popping out just like this. Look at that. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tony. Yes, the daily draw is the best. Look at this. It's very bright white, the value here. So I'm going to just come in here and darken it. Look at the picture there. Just darken it in right in here like this. Yeah, I'll put a link. I'll put a link in that as soon as we're done here that you could check out in the comment section. And as long as we're talking about the comment section, look at this. Come in here and don't forget the shadow over here as well. Look at that. Look closely. And then it gets really sharp. Look at the edges. I'll put a link for that in the comments. A painter once told me that it always comes down to edges. Whenever you paint something, it always comes down to edges. And is it a hard edge or a soft edge? And then second, it comes down to values. What are the values that are being used? Now, speaking of values, look, I still have this quite white in here, but it shouldn't be. There should be a little bit of a tone difference. Because this isn't the white. The whitest part is like almost right here, you see? Yeah, so a lot of times when I draw, I'm also looking for value. Right now in the daily draw on Wednesdays, we are looking at the planes of the face. And it's a little confusing. It can be, but once you start studying where the planes of the face are, wow, it really does make a huge difference in your portrait work. So there's my nostril, but then let's get the wing here. And the wing is going to come around like this, you see? And I don't want to put a lot of pressure, just enough. Okay. I'm looking at my picture over here because it's sometimes if you see it from a distance, you could see little mistakes. So I think that should be a little bit, and I think maybe my eyes might be a little too close together, but you know what? That's just the way it goes. I'm just going to go with that. All right, here's this side. Let's get the rest of this cheek in here. So I'm going to come out a little bit and then come right down in here to her side there, her nose, and now let's go back into her lips here and get some nice darks. And these lips need to be pretty dark. The upper lip for sure. And then a light value for the bottom one. Put a light value in the whole bottom one. And then come in and darken the bottom. And then underneath it gets really dark because she has that nice deep shadow there. Okay. And she's quite young. And we know this because she doesn't have those laugh lines. All right, let's go ahead and come back here. Let's get this. Okay, again, this is my corner there. Yeah, end of the month, there was a kind of a competition called the Art Battle here in Lancaster, and I did it, and I ended up doing quite well. And they asked me to come back. They're going to have another one uh, October 30th. And if you're part of our Facebook group, you will find the link. I'm going to send out a link where people can watch it live stream. So, yeah, I'm going to be painting a huge painting. I mean, a real big painting. And so I've already figured out what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a bit of a surprise. But it's going to be very themed for the holiday. Let's just say that. A mashup. So look at me. I'm just kind of going around the edge of her ear, her hair here. You see that? And then the back of her ear is here, and I'm just kind of drawing her hair here. I'm using straights, and let's see now. Her hair doesn't go up that high. And I'm thinking, I always tell everyone, when you're drawing hair, think of it almost like you're molding it. You're molding it out of clay. Yeah, so we'll be in it. I'm going to be in it. So it should be an interesting evening. That's Thursday, October. I think it's a Thursday. October 30th. And yeah, we got a ways to go, but as it approaches, I'll definitely share the word. Look at this. I'm going to come down here right away and drop this cheek. Look at that. Cheekbone is coming in just like this. See that? There's a plane, and then this is the other plane of the face coming right in here like this. And then you've got this. Do this light up here, because this area is really reflective of light. All right. Okay, let's see now. Where's our let's get her outfit in. We're not going to draw these crows. You know what I learned? Oh, it was a while ago, but I still find it to be so fascinating. You know what they call a group of crows? You have like a herd of elephants. Anyone know what that's called? I know what it's called. Let's see how many people in our group knows what Therese. What is a group of crows called? Does anyone know? Let's see how many people know. Throw it in the comments there. Throw it in the chat. A group of crows. Don't look it up yet. Let's see who's the first one to pop that in. What is a group of crows called, huh? Let's see if anybody knows. You gotta know. So all I'm doing is kind of just drawing. Now I'm using like a contour line here. No, Cindy, a murder. There it is. Christina got it. A murder of crows. Isn't that just like, that was a good guess though, Cindy. That was a good guess. No, a murder of crows. Man. So creepy. Is the word coven? Is that for also? I know like a coven of witches, but is there a coven of animals? Is that a? I'm curious, but that was a good guess. All right, so there's her. There's her sweatshirt, right? Let's get some little coloring here for her hair. And then I think again for her hair, I'm not thinking of I'm not thinking of individual hairs. I'm thinking of just of what is this thing if it was just molded with clay, you see? If I was drawing a statue. So I put a single value down, I'm putting a secondary value now. And then look at this. Look at her neck back here needs to be darker in value. And this is interesting. Look at her ear here. Her ear needs to be darker in value, except the very tip top there. We don't want to lose that at all. Now, look at her hair here. I'm gonna come up here and look. This kind of overlaps here. All right, you see that it overlaps here a little bit. And then the only place I'm really going to kind of draw some hairs is where it's blowing in the wind. All right. How are we looking there? Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to darken this up just a little bit up there on top. Making a little adjustment in her hairline there. Yeah, so you can see what I'm doing. I just keep building up my darks. Building up these darks is key. Okay. Okay, look at that. Coming along nicely, I think. A murder of crows. What do they call? Oh, did you know what they call a? Where's the light on this lady? Well, if you hit her, I think it's coming in right from this direction because it's like right here, right here. It's really hot, and right on the bridge of her nose, it's really hot. That's a good question, Cindy, because that means that everything else should have a little bit of value to it, except right where those little spots are like really hitting that light. Speaking of groups of animal, do you know what they call a group of vultures? This is you think Murder of Crows is great. Anyone know what they call a group of vultures? This is my favorite. A group of vultures. That is the best of it all. Murder of Crows, that's right. What do they call a group of vultures? Next time you're in a meeting at work, you're going to think of this. What do they call a group of vultures? Let's see if who knows what that is. So this one you can look up. I don't mind if no one knows what it is, because it's a great one. The way you figure out where the light is coming on a person is you just look for the hottest, the brightest. A conference. I thought it was a committee. I thought it was a committee of vultures. If it's a conference, that doesn't then it is. But I always thought it was a committee because committees are just it's just vultures. A jury. Oh, that's funny too. I have to look this one up real quick. I just want to confirm because let's see here. We'll go with this way like this, and I'm gonna go here. What is a group of vultures? Okay, it's a group of vultures is called a committee, a venue, or a vault. So there it is, a venue. I'm going to go with committee. I'm going to go with committee because, man, committees. Oh boy, you get a committee of people together, and they might as well it just might as well call it the end. All right, here we go. I think we're about done here. Enough chit chat, enough kind of going off here on things. Let's see here. My pencil has gotten really worn down, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen this thing up, go back into a couple little areas, but that should do it for tonight, huh? We got this great girl. We do have some crows. The picture is actually larger, so I'll tell you what. I will post the picture on our Facebook group tomorrow, the full thing, because it is filled with a murder of crows. It's quite exciting. All right, hey, go out there, make your night great. I really enjoy this time with you all. Hope you learned something. My name's Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws. Don't forget, sign up for the daily draw. There's some great links in the description of this video, of our Facebook group, all kinds of great stuff. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.